It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Stroud is sacked again. Oh, John Boom.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny in the corner.
To Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole.
Here's the give. Walker. Kenny Walker. Touchdown. Sparty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end.
Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's
out of here! A grand slam from Miguel Cabrera. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
I don't want to give you Anthony's intro. He'll be here in a second. What's up? It's Friday morning. I'm going to my first ever wrestling event. As a lifelong wrestling fan, I'm going to my first ever event tonight.
You never? I haven't been before, but I thought for sure you.
No.
You never gone to like the Br0's and the Smack?
No.
They come every year now.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, when since I've hit adulthood, I'm not really willing to spend the money on it. And when I was a child, my parents were they did not like it. They didn't like that I was a fan of it because, the Attitude Era was questionable. Things were happening on wrestling. It wasn't so much about the wrestling when we were watching as children. So, yeah, my parents were not my dad might have gone. My mom was definitely not going to take us to that.
I have 2 words for your parents.
Don't. Go. That's fine, but I don't know if you're allowed to say that.
Fine.
I think you
I'll just
can.
throw up the X.
Yes, there you go.
If you're watching on YouTube,
yeah.
you know what's coming next.
Raw 30 is actually on Monday, this coming Monday. The 30th anniversary Raw is coming.
You'll have
this
to
Monday,
remind me Monday morning.
Yeah, it's going to be
to tune in
pretty
to
awesome.
Because I grew up same as you, Dan. Attitude Era. Watched it. Not really the biggest fan of pro wrestling now, but I'll watch those big events, especially it's all on Peacock. I'll watch those reunions.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, exactly. That's the best. Anthony?
There we go. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it took like a while for you to pop up.
Well, you buy something, and it's brand new off the shelf, and everything's supposed to work, and then everything doesn't always work according to plan. Technology, you only love it when it works. It only works when you love it. Kind of a strange relationship there. But yeah, I don't know why. Old Faithful used to just be like, boom. You just click the power button once, and then it was just on, and immediately just called you.
Give them are you going to give them they don't make things like they used to?
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started, huh? And I really sound like get off my lawn guy. How are you guys this morning? Happy Friday.
Good. I was just telling Ryan and everybody that I'm going to Friday Night SmackDown, and it's my first ever wrestling event. So I'm very excited.
Wait a minute, you've been a wrestling fan your whole life. This is the first time going live?
I was because my parents, since I've been an adult, don't get me wrong, I love the thing. I love wrestling, but I've never really been willing to spend money on it. I've never had a T-shirt, nothing. And then
in my dress up?
Yeah, no. And my
bring a sign?
We are in a suite.
Oh, wow.
So, there are, I guess I could get a sign.
But say The signs are best for like the first like 15 rows.
Yeah.
Where you can see it while all the match is going on.
Yeah, so, but when we were kids, you remember the Attitude Era, it was very raunchy, and my mom was not about that life back then. So that was not
really
happening. Yes.
So I feel like I stopped watching wrestling around the time where NWA was possible. NWA was popular too when I was a child.
Yes.
But, NWO, they were around. They had split into two factions with WWE and WCW. Yeah, that's about that right there is where that was it for me. That was like the last.
Yeah, you were close to like the pinnacle. I would like a couple of years after that, like the Stone Cold Rock, HBK, Triple H, a few years there was there Undertaker, Kane, like there was nothing
Shawn
better.
Michaels,
yeah. That was just the best time.
So you are that's tonight. Is that at Little Caesars?
It is, yes.
Okay.
And I'm pretty excited because this coming Monday is the 30th anniversary Raw, and then that next Saturday is Royal Rumble. So we're getting really close, so there might be special appearances. There's going to be some dark matches, after SmackDown. They always have, because it's a Friday night, so they want to give a show for the people. So the show will go for an extra half hour at least.
Oh wow!
After the TV time.
Well, at least you got good plans. And who are you going with?
Oh, my girlfriend and her friends just called us on Monday and were like, "Hey, we have 2 extra tickets." Yes, we want to go in the suite. Yes.
Yeah, that's the other thing. In a suite, like, are you kidding me? Like, enjoy yourself. Overindulge if you'd like to. I mean, why not? Come on, it's a suite. You've never been there to an event like this, so go out and do it, man.
Oh, great! Here's Little Caesars Arena evacuated for ammonia leak yesterday. That's good.
Well, at least nobody was there.
See, you think people work hard? The WWE works harder.
You know what's funny?
Doing an ammonia leak the night before, someone's just gonna start coughing mid-match, and then miraculously come back and win the whole thing.
They actually, the Pistons pregame from Paris was produced from LCA yesterday. Like, I don't know if you watched it. It was Mickey York, Grant Long,
Is
and
that
Lindsey
why there
Hunter.
was no post game?
Oh, maybe.
Because they in the third quarter, there's a little scrolling bar that said there'll be no post game.
Oh,
show.
they were definitely having technical difficulties.
But it could have. I wonder if the ammonia leak too, because they had to be evacuated.
Yeah, good point. That must have been it. The leak. Yeah.
Yeah, they jumped right to Bally programming.
There you go. Yeah, that's crazy. They couldn't do the post game show.
That's pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie. The whole time I was like, yeah, it's on NBA TV, but that didn't apply to anybody in the state or anybody that was listening to us. Like,
I went home and turned on NBA TV. I go, what is this? Blacked out. Had to go to the Bally app, and it's like I felt like Bally could have done a better job of still promoting, like, hey, the game will still be on our channel.
Yeah, that's my fault though. I mean, I should have known because
no, it's not your fault. It's the channel's fault. Like, Bally needs to just remind people, like, hey, the game's in Paris. It's advertised NBA TV. You'll watch it right here on Bally Sports.
And on the scheduling, NBA TV for the national / just RSN, Regional Sports Network. That's all we need. Like, oh, okay, we have it too. Because I went to NBA TV because I was interested to see what some of the pregame production was
trash.
And it was.
It didn't.
There
wasn't any. I mean,
Really?
it was Greg Anthony. It was literally Greg Anthony and I don't know the lady's name. And they did nothing. Zero prepackaged anything. Nothing.
Wow, surprised. Very surprised. All right, we'll step aside when we return. It wasn't just the Pistons that were in action. What a disappointment they were. Wolverines, Spartans, Red Wings, all in action. Benjamin Raven, MLive, he's going to join us. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked right here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Post or Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
When you're in construction, you know that every minute matters and every dollar counts. You've got materials to purchase, employees to pay, and deadlines to meet. What you don't have is time to worry about your accounting, taxes, or ways to grow your business. That's where we come in. We're Bean Garter. And while your business is construction, our business is helping you run your business better. From tax planning, payroll processing, or R&D credit studies, we're here for you with concrete advice and answers. Let us help you build a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're a subcontractor, developer, architect, or engineer, of all the things you build, make your business the strongest. Experience service, expertise, and simplicity at Bean Garter. Find us online, beangarter.com. Bean Garter.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros at Michigan Sports Network. Danny Candler, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. We appreciate you making us a part of your day each and every weekday morning all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. Always a lot of fun. Coming up next month, we'll go down to the Glass City and we'll be live from that. So that should be a lot of fun. All right, last night it wasn't just the Detroit Pistons heading over in Paris. How about the Detroit Red Wings gave us something to smile about? Congratulations. They gambled out there in Las Vegas and got a 3-2 victory. Somebody needs a round of applause here. We don't have any other fight songs to play, so we're just kind of stuck. It just is what it is. Like, we don't. It has been such a difficult. It's only been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks, and everybody stinks. All my teams stink. At least Ryan has Michigan State that he can, he can look to and smile, and because the teams that I root for are all terrible, and it's all doom and gloom over here. But Dominic Kubalik, Lucas Raymond, Joe Bellino, all getting on the scoreboard, and the Detroit Red Wings playing a relatively complete hockey game last night, beating the Vegas Golden Knights 3-2, snapping the slide, late night game in the desert. Didn't think Daniela Bruce was going to be able to stay awake for it. She was tweeting out that she might just have to record everything ahead of time, go to bed. But 3 games now, 3-3 in their last 6. Right, got to do it like that. Make you feel better about yourself and about your life. It's still not good. They basically played themselves out of the playoffs to this point. They would need an absolute miracle, trailing Tampa Bay by 13 points right now to catch them. I mean, they are 10 wins behind them. I don't see it happening. It's going to be Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Boston out of the Atlantic.
According to Money Puck,
Money Puck, I love them.
4.8% chance.
Yeah, so it's over. But everybody, allegedly, everybody was in town in Las Vegas because they were having some meetings. So, like, the entire Red Wings brass, everybody, Steve Yzerman, Nick Lidstrom, the whole gang was there to watch that game. And I don't think that there was anything noticeably different from an effort standpoint. I didn't really think about it like that. In this game, but it just to me, it's like, okay, when you look up, like, you're skating around, there's a stoppage, and they're playing the music, and you're circling the back of the net, and you look up, right, and you're out there and you're tired, and you know where they're sitting. You absolutely know. Like, if you play for the Red Wings, you know where Chris and Marian Illich sit. If you know where Steve Yzerman is at. If you play for the Lions, you know where Sheila Ford Hamp sits. You know where Brad Holmes is at. You absolutely do. There's no way you wouldn't. And to look up into that upper deck and to know, even if you can't see everybody, that everybody who evaluates anybody on this team is here at this game, it's a little bit of pressure. Because they know they got to make some changes. They know that, some guys have underperformed. Some guys just aren't as good as they hoped that they would be. And the team right now, to this point, albeit, relatively competitive on a night-to-night basis, just has too many lulls where they are just, they just are not good enough as a professional hockey team. And they were. That's the sad part. Like, I don't know what got figured out and what happened. But the beginning of the season really gave us a lot of hope that maybe we would have some, meaningful playoff chase. They didn't even necessarily have to make the playoffs, in my opinion, but to at least just be in the hunt to where every game mattered, to make, the month of April and the month of March a lot of fun. Hell, even February, just to make every night fun is great, because you knew that, 10 games into the Pistons season, you knew what it was. That writing was on the wall. It was a wrap. It was over. Like that, it's another, let's go try to get another pick and let's do that instead of, trying to improve and trying to win because, 7'4" Victor Wembanyama sitting courtside. Like, ridiculous. But regardless, Ville Husso in net last night for the Wings. He made 33 saves. The Red Wings snapped their 3-game losing streak, and at least, great. As long as you look like the effort is there, I'll continue to watch. Is the minute I feel like I care more than you do, that's where I get a little checked out. And to be honest with you, the Golden Knights, who lost their captain Mark Stone with an upper body injury back on January 12th against Florida, Vegas has lost a season-high 3 in a row, 4 out of 5. They're struggling to hold on to first place in the Pacific Division, so they're a little bit, they've lost their way a little bit. And if you're Vegas and you look at the standings and where you are at, to lose to a team like the Red Wings, that's not good. That is not good. Seattle Kraken bypass you by a point right now. You have a 2-point lead on the LA Kings and a 3-point lead on the Edmonton Oilers and a 7-point lead on Calgary. So they very much have a 6-team race right now in the Pacific Division. That's a game. If you're Vegas and you got Detroit coming in, you got to win that game. And they've struggled a little bit without their captain. And those things happen. You take somebody who's in a leadership role, you take them out of the lineup on a regular basis. I can somewhat expect to see that to some extent, right? But I mean, even if you have teams right now in the NHL, think about how sick this is. The Boston Bruins have discussed resting their captain Patrice Bergeron. Have you seen this? You know what they're calling it? Healthy scratch for load management. Never did I didn't. Every once in a while, you'll get a guy that rests. Every once in a while. And I'm okay with that. There'll be a healthy scratch.
Oh, sometimes you, like the old guys say, you don't have a choice, yeah. Sometimes it's like,
veterans.
Hey, every 10th game I'm out.
But this might be more drastic. Like, it's something like we're talking about, resting him.
Because guess what?
He's 37.
They already are in the playoffs. They don't have to worry about it. Now it could be like the NBA, where the regular season, second half of the regular season kind of doesn't matter for them.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would like to know how Boston fans, if you're a fan of the team, you're probably like, oh, yeah, no, I understand. Because you've had such a successful season, then why would you care? You know what I mean? Like, if one guy's out, like, yeah, let's if you got somebody else who's available, let's see what this guy's got. That's got it. What a luxury that is. We need all hands on deck and a complete balls-to-the-wall effort every single night to win a game by a goal. We can, there's no time to take your foot off the gas right now if you're the Red Wings. So if you're a Boston fan, man, that's got to feel great. Well, there's fans of football teams that still have something to root for. We're cheering for the offseason right now and how successful that's been for the Detroit Lions. But you could be cheering for any of the teams playing this weekend. As the NFL playoff action continues, we step closer to Super Bowl 57. For the divisional round, check out DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Just download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. We will step aside and we shall return. MSU hand X's and Bros Michigan Sports Network.
Hey, Michigan, let's go big. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver, and I'm talking real big-time winning on the hottest slots and table games on one incredible app, Eagle Casino and Sports.
Sign up now and get up to $1,500. That's right. We'll match your first 2 deposits for up to $1,500, plus 100 free spins.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archived boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV.
More for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Post or Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
From Traverse City to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, you're listening to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you ride along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening. Terry sending in his Pistons update as always. Terry over there on the west side, love to see that. He did say, I just want to be able to get this in before, if he's on the move and gets into work, because his steadfast dedication to the program is something I greatly appreciate. Pistons are now winless in games played in Europe after Thursday's loss to the Bulls in Paris. Detroit shot just 23% from the three-point line. The projected season-ending record is 21-61. More on that game coming up. But it was nice. It was nice to get, let's play at 3 o'clock. Let's get a nice early loss during the matinee so that I can top that with another evening loss as Michigan would fall on the road. We'll start with the game that began, however, first. That was Michigan State at home inside the Breslin. It's always fun with the Izzo kids. 13-point victory over 23rd ranked Rutgers. Very important win for Michigan State, getting that T25 win right there. There should be, I don't know, I think that Michigan State's probably one of the best 25 teams in America. They should probably get a fun little number next to their name at some point in the next week or so. But you have to feel good if you're a Spartan fan just about I mean, you're going to have nights where you shoot like this. And anytime you shoot 50% from the three-point line, it's going to be curtains for the other team. Like, that just is what it is. But at the same time, the dispersion of scoring, when you have multiple guys going for double-digit points, and for Michigan State, it was 5 guys that were able to do that. That's a beautiful sign for your basketball team. So congratulations to Ryan and to Spartan fans everywhere as they got to enjoy a nice basketball game where you feel good about things. You had a lead at halftime. You play well in the second half. 13
really
points.
No issues officiating.
No, it was fine. Everything was fine. What's that like? Is that fun? Did you have fun?
I did have fun. It was fun.
Good for you.
Still another slow start from MSU where they had less points than minutes played at the first media timeout, which I think is like it seems like the 12th game this year that's happened. So if you're MSU, that's something where it's like, we got to figure out how to start games better. We can't keep climbing into these 8-point holes, first little bit. It's like, 'cause when you face great teams, when it gets to tournament time, you don't have that luxury. You may not have that luxury to come back. But it's nice to see the 3-point, shot hitting. And for Jackson Kohler, have a coming out game. Madi Sissoko has struggled the last few games. Granted, he's had some big guys to take care of. And Rutgers' big guy, he's not that big. He's feisty. He's lengthy. He's an Energizer Bunny. And Rutgers is one of the best rebounding teams in the nation. I think they had over 20 offensive rebounds last night. Rutgers opened up the second half. They had 6 shots on the first possession.
That's that could be a little frustrating. You said something there I want to go back to that I have a question about. You said, you can't dig yourself an 8-point hole when you get to tournament time. What tournament do you speak of?
I'm talking about.
Can I play? Can I play? Can I get in there?
I don't know. Maybe you can play Central again in a tournament.
You could play in that Ireland preseason tournament next year.
That wasn't very nice.
That wasn't. I'm sorry. I apologize. Very nice. I apologize. But also, you complain.
No, you don't.
All my teams stink. I just had the best football season of my life possibly since 1997. But all my teams stink.
And I want to feel great about that too. But the way that ended is just
so.
And now
excuse me for not feeling so sorry for you, Anthony.
And I got international cyber criminal Matt Weiss.
Aren't the Michigan women aren't they 11 in the country?
Yeah, but I mean that's if you're not in the top, if
you're not top 3, you're not
true.
competing for a championship.
Yeah, the gap there is so wide.
True. Michigan, who's number 1? South Carolina?
Got my girl Zia Cook from Toledo.
South Carolina probably beat Michigan by 40. Like, that's just
40's a lot.
But that just seems what the gap. It'd be 20 plus.
It would be a lot. You had to be proud with the way that Sparty took care of the basketball last night as a whole.
Yeah,
10 turnovers in a 40-minute basketball game. That's a good number.
Yeah, and some turnovers were early, but like they cleaned it up, and yeah, offense is great. Jackson Kohler again, 12 points, career high, 11 points, first career double, 3 blocks. Like the kid, like it was nice to see a big guy just step up, because that's their weakest point. I mean, Marty can rebound, but his offensive game, there's not much there outside of dunking the ball. And then you have 2 freshmen, in Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper, Cooper's a walk-on who everyone expected the red shirt. So,
you have one of the best classes coming in, right?
Yeah, number 3, I believe.
Number 3, yeah. It's a good time for Spartan basketball right now.
With their top recruit being a 6'10" center and Xavier Booker. So
you'd love to see 6'10".
He's just,
and especially if the guy's got skills, he's got hands, and he's not going to be a deer in the headlights when he catches the ball and sees a double team.
Right, because every time State's had a good big guy outside of Xavier Tillman, the good big guy is like 6'7", who's playing center. And it's just like the height's never really been there for MSU and their big guys. They've been good. They've been great. It's just never been big.
Yeah, that is very strange. They have lacked that, like, monster presence.
And Jaren Jackson's great, but he was there for 1 year.
Yeah.
So, and that year ended, badly after a great regular season.
So Michigan State feels good, has a nice game. Everybody has fun. Orange slices all around. Let's have a good time, right?
Peyton Manning did divulge that you do eat orange slices during halftime.
Absolutely. It's not just something that, you're supposed to do in youth soccer. You go have an orange slice. Everything's good about it. Gives you something to eat. Gives you a little juice. All right, then. So Michigan State started at 6:30, so I got to watch a good portion of that game, basically uninterrupted, and then I flipped on TV2 for the.
You also
Michigan
did miss because Michigan was playing at this time. There was a 5-minute delay in the State game right after Michigan started because the shot clock horn would not stop buzzing. There was a horn issue, the most annoying issue you could probably have in arena.
Technology. It's just, it works when you love it. You love it when it works. It's always something. Did I tell you about the Northwestern assistant coach who came over to the scores table to yell at our timekeeper?
No.
Oh, yeah. So when Michigan was playing Northwestern, Northwestern did a couple of those, hey, we'll just roll it in. Our guard will walk it up, and then when a defender gets close, you pick up the ball. It's just a way to lengthen the game a little bit and not have any time run off the clock. Well, the referees have been able to eliminate any sort of home court advantage by starting the clock themselves and stopping the clock. The clock stops when they blow the whistle. There is a pack that they wear that they actually start the clock with. So you'll see, the official who is handing the ball off to be inbounded, he will usually have his dominant hand or one of his hands behind his back, right? And that is so that he can turn on his pack, click the button, and start the clock. So Northwestern had a complaint that Michigan had not been following the rules and that they had started the clock too early before the Northwestern guard, Boo Boo, had picked up the basketball and had touched it. So the assistant coach comes over to the scores table, and he is visibly upset. He has some words, and we all look at him like, where have you been over the last decade? The ref starts the clock. Everybody knows this. Like, everybody knows this. So the ref comes over, and he's like, well, what was that about? And they're like, well, he's yelling at us for starting the clock. Now, when the player picks up the ball, the timekeeper at the scorer's table will, in fact, hit a green button that will start the clock in the event the referee does not. But it's a pretty boisterous, like, wait. Player touches it, boom, hit it just in case. It works as like a backup, right?
Right.
And so the Northwestern coach was upset. The referee comes over. The referee goes over and explains to the Northwestern staff that, yes, this is college basketball, and we have been starting the clock now for like a decade off of our packs. The clock will also stop when we blow the whistle because it's sensitive to that. And every individual ref tests their mic ahead of time, test their microphone ahead of time, which is attached to their whistle so that the clock can pick up when the whistle is blown, how it is blown, and what sound comes out to then stop the clock. You'll see refs testing it pregame. They'll each blow the whistle twice, once to start it, once to stop it, once it registers in the system based on the ref, then we move on. It's pretty elaborate. Like, it's a pretty in-depth piece of equipment. The Northwestern assistant coach then came over and did apologize, which I thought was a nice move. He didn't have to, but that was nice.
You think their coaches would be smarter than that?
You'd think. But there's a lot going on, so I guess I understand.
And last note from MSU, Rutgers hit a three-pointer that they originally called a two-pointer with 10 seconds left. That was for the over. So the two-pointer, the over-under's at 126. If it was a two-pointer, it would have been at 126. They originally called it a two. Like 6 seconds later, called it a three. The over hit.
Well, that ruling meant a whole lot more to some than it did to others, in the words of the great Uncle Brent Musburger. The Michigan Wolverines took on the Maryland Terrapins on the road, and every game is basically I'm not expecting them to run the table, but they do need to win some basketball games here. And this would have been a nice one. However, Maryland has been very, very good at home, so I wasn't necessarily I didn't really know how to feel about going into the game. I felt like it was a must-win, but this is what it is for Michigan. Hunter Dickinson went for 19 and 10, and he was 3 of 5 from 3. They lost the game by 6 points. Hunter Dickinson shot 5 3-pointers in the game. That'll tell you how things were going. A pretty lackluster effort defensively in the first half. They looked very uninterested in playing any sort of defense. Offensive production continues to be disjointed and dysfunctional. I really like Terrace Reed a lot. Hunter Dickinson is a nice basketball player. He's a very large human being. There are certain things and antics throughout the course of a basketball game that I just don't agree with. Old man yells at cloud, I guess, but there was a celebration that he did after hitting a three that I was like, he did not just do that. What are you doing? And if you know the play that I'm talking about, I don't want to make the motion for our television audience and for our streamers. But
he was enjoying himself.
There was a motion with his hand making a gesture. Yes, Ryan, that is correct. It's just unnecessary. It's unnecessary in a couple of different fronts. One, because the team isn't playing very well. So therefore, let's everybody relax because you're 2 games above 500 right now and you've lost to Central Michigan. 2, you've been trailing the entire time in the basketball game. I appreciate you being excited, but you got to tone some of that down. It's just a bad look. And you might think it's I'm nitpicking right now, and I don't want to nitpick, but I saw it and I'm like, come on, dude, grow up. I don't know at what point, if I'm a ref and I see that, I'm immediately teeing you. Immediately. I don't give a rat's, you are not going to motion that to the crowd. Sorry, you're not doing it. Not on my watch, right? Old man yells at cloud. Jet Howard, the only other, somewhat productive scorer, as he had 13 points, but he was 4 of 14 from the field. 4 of 14. Doug couldn't get anything going. Doug McBuckets was not getting buckets last night. He was 2 for 10. Big Terrace Reed guy. Love what he brings to this team. Probably need to play Will Cheddar more. Terrence Williams had a really nice night, career high in rebounds. He had 9 points, 13 rebounds, 4 of 7 from the field. That's exactly what I expect from him. Wolverines got really nothing from Kobe Buffkin. And then after the game, after the 64-58 loss here, I saw that Doug McBuckets tweeting out about how last week I was whatever, I was the greatest. Now this week I should be benched and I shouldn't even be playing. Yeah, we have a great fan base. And I'm like, this is not good. infighting now, players responding to social media. Here's the thing. When it comes to social media, it's important for if you're going to do like legitimate NIL, you want to have a sponsorship deal. I guess it's not even really that important. Like you don't have to have social media. You don't have to have a Twitter. You know, people are making way more money off of Instagram than they are on Twitter. Twitter, people are like, how do we monetize this? Instagram's like, oh, everybody makes money here. You know, it's if I was a player, if I was a coach, Instagram, yeah, turn your comments off. Turn your comments off. Don't let anybody comment on anything. Twitter, absolutely not. I don't even think I'd allow my guys to have a Twitter, and you might think that I'm trying to be, you know, like overly protective, but there is nothing positive in that cesspool of social media for you.
Well,
nothing.
I love the difference between sports because it seems like every college football team, all their players are off Twitter during the season. Like every team. It just seems like, going dark for the season. It seems like every college football player.
Smart.
And college basketball. Yeah, it's just the difference of personalities between the sports.
They live for it. I had somebody send me a tweet that I sent not even related to the team, and somebody from a team send me my tweet questioning why I said what I said one time. Like 30 minutes after the game went final. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, this doesn't even have anything to do with your team. What are you talking about? We're talking about the team you played. We're not talking about you. That happened to me. 30 minutes after. Like, you're on the bus. What's going on here? You can't be serious. Why are you on Twitter? Like, get off of it. There's nothing good that's going to happen there. Nothing. Like, is it a cool way to interact with fans? Yeah. But we know how fans are. You know how these people get. Doug, there's no reason to even respond to it. Don't listen to these people. You're a full scholarship athlete at a Division I university playing high major basketball. You're starting as a freshman. Why are you listening to Joe Blow sitting on the couch watching your games? What are you doing? You don't need that. I wouldn't listen to any of it. I don't even know if I'd turn on television if I played in sports right now in today's realm of just utter goofiness. It's ridiculous. And as for the fans, stop tweeting at players. What is wrong with you? Unless it's something positive. Why would you ever tweet anything negative?
Or just add at the end of every tweet about college players, just put in parentheses, they're just kids. I don't mean it.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I saw that and I was like, this is just icing on the cake for what has been a pretty miserable day. Let's turn on the Red Wings and see what happens here. All right, we're going to step aside. Hour number 2 is coming at you next year on X's and Bros of the Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Post or Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and having a winter blast with up to $25,000. Every Saturday in January from 7 to 10 p.m., you can win $1,500 in premium play. Then, at 11 p.m. each week, one lucky player takes home $25,000 cash. That's $160,000 all month long. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before in the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at beancarter.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com. Also, Thomas stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Bean Garter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Good morning, everyone.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's a good morning. Wake up to a brand new day.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, Vietnam!
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here, X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. So great to have you right along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well, from Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City. We say good morning to you. We welcome you, thank you, appreciate you, and of course, we encourage you to join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000 Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176. Run Twitter at XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN, now streaming live on YouTube as well. Just search for Michigan Sports Network. You can add a .com to that to find our website, michigansportsnetwork.com. XBMornings at gmail.com is the fan feedback email inbox. And you can find us all individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key. And I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. A couple of texts coming in on the text line. Love it, Ryan. Shot of the day. Let's make 6:35 shot of the day. That comes from Freddie. Completely unnecessary jab there by Ryan. He is now serving a 2-minute minor for interference. Horny issues, says the next texter. That's 7:02 in the morning. Let's take a break. Question and
which one? Michigan State in the Horn or Hunter Dickinson celebration?
Lots of celebrations and lots of clock issues as well. Lots going on last night. Question, please think it out. If the Detroit Pistons land the number 1 pick, let's think about 2 years from now. Whose pick will be most important to the franchise? The player the Lions take at 6. We will butt heads for 3 months on who they should take. Oh, Will Levis. You got to take Will Levis at 6. Have to take the quarterback, Will Levis at 6. He is going to be, it's the second coming of Joe Montana. Get Will Levis at 6. The player the Pistons take at 1 or Casey Mize for the Tigers? Thank you, Freddie. All right, so it's like a 3-way here. We've got the player the Lions take at 6, which, God, I hope is not Will Levis, or a quarterback, because you don't need one. The player the Pistons take at 1 or Casey Mize for the Tigers. The 2 years from now, so it would be the end of the Pistons and Lions pick sophomore season, or end of their, I mean, depending on how you want to do that. Probably the Pistons pick, because Casey Mize only gets to play once out of every 5 days, and that team is hot garbage. The Lions pick is monumental as we see the impact that Aiden Hutchinson had, even though people didn't want him at 2. That's totally fine. Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. The Pistons pick, just because there's only so many people on the floor at a time. You know what I mean? So when you have a situation where one guy's impact is exponentially greater because there's only 10 guys on the floor and he's playing somewhere around like 3/4 of the game, like that would be my reasoning behind that. Casey Mize doesn't play enough, and the Lions player, depending on who they select there at number 6, he's one of 53 guys on the roster, one of 33 guys that are starting. So, you're only as good as the sum of your parts in the NFL. Do you need star power? Absolutely you do. But at the end of the day, you need to have 11 guys working in sync on every single play, or the play is not going to work. And I think that's where individual impact is just greater in basketball. And to be honest with you, I don't know if the NBA would give us the number 1 pick. I don't know about the lottery. Like, if you don't get Wemby, then what? I mean, everyone's like, yeah, take for Wemby. Where's the guarantee that they win the lottery? Because what if this whole time they stunk and you get nothing for it? Then what do you do? What's the backup plan? Where's the glass to break to hit the emergency eject button?
Well, when that happens, you just get the Sixers.
You end up with Scoot, right?
I'm just saying, like, that's what happened to the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, they stunk for so long, and yeah, they got some great draft picks, and Joel Embiid is going to be a 3 or 4 time MVP by the time it's done, and he'll be a Hall of Famer, but are they ever going to win anything?
Everybody makes the Hall of Fame. No, probably not. They'll probably not get out of the Eastern Conference. He might not play in a finals. Those are legitimate questions there. It's so odd seeing you guys on YouTube versus just listening to you guys for such a long time. Steve Brown on YouTube. Hi, Steve. Good morning. How are you, my friend? I waved to you in case you saw it on the stream. All right, what else is going on in the sports world? We'll try to get you all caught up with all the happenings. We'll do so right now in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines.
No, it's real news for once.
The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Big night for our teams last night. A lot of games on and staggered in time so you could enjoy a little bit of everything. It all started with the Pistons traveling all the way to France to get bombed by the Chicago Bulls yesterday afternoon, 126-108. Congratulations to them. After that, Michigan State beat number 23 Rutgers in the Breslin 70-57. Michigan went on the road to College Park to lose to Maryland 64-58. And the Detroit Red Wings in the nightcap, 3-2 winners over the Vegas Golden Knights, a division-leading Vegas Golden Knights. So good for them. Tonight over on the CBS Sports Network, you can get a little action with Toledo and Buffalo tipping off at 8:30. A little Friday night hoops action. Don't forget, on Sunday before the football starts, 11:30 kickoff. Manchester United taking on Arsenal. Massive, massive game in the English Premier League. So if you are at all interested in English soccer, that is, I cannot put enough. I mean, this is number 1 versus number 3 in the table right now. This is basically not for all the marbles, but pretty damn close to being for all the marbles. And that's going to happen before football kicks off. So a great way to start the day.
Send a reminder text, would you?
Oh, for Sunday?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I will. The Vikings have fired their defensive coordinator, Ed Donatel, after their early playoff exit. They were atrocious on defense all season long. They were the team that benefited from all the close games. There's usually one of those a season where one team, a whole bunch of one-possession games, gets a little lucky. That was the Vikings. Dolphins have fired their defensive coordinator, Josh Boyer, after 3 seasons in his role there. Although I don't necessarily blame the Dolphins. The Dolphins' defense and special teams have actually been pretty good. It's just the fact that their starting quarterback has head injuries, and that's that. General manager in Baltimore believes that Lamar Jackson wants to finish his career with the Ravens, and they are confident that they are going to get a long-term deal done. Why didn't they just say this months ago? They could have done this forever ago. Are they going to franchise him? That is the question. His market value is right about $44-45 million per season, averaged out amongst the top 5 money-making quarterbacks. He's going to look at Kyler Murray's contract and be like, I'm better than that guy. He can't even see over the line of scrimmage. And then, who knows what the guaranteed money will look like. But it's going to be a hefty, hefty payment to Lamar Jackson. In the shocking news of yesterday, the Buccaneers have fired their offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich. He was the hottest name for a head coaching position.
They
should have fired Todd Bowles.
They fired their whole offensive staff yesterday. And yesterday was like Black Thursday for coordinators.
Bad day at the office. You go to scan in, they won't even let you in. Maverick center / power forward and former Detroit Piston Christian Wood has a fractured left thumb. He'll be reevaluated next week. The Bulls beat the Pistons, as we mentioned. More on that game coming up. Hurricanes winger Max Pacioretty in a non-contact injury, quote, doesn't look good. Pacioretty's, it was like the last minute of the Canes 5-2 winning. It's the Minnesota Wild at PNC Arena. It was a quick cut right down to the ice, grabbing his right leg, not good. The Bruins have discussed resting their captain, Patrice Bergeron, although he did take a puck off the face. He is 37 years old, but load management in hockey, is it coming? Austin Matthews, David Pasternak are among 12 voted to the All-Star game. So We can go through those rosters when we get a little bit closer, right? We still have a couple of tweaks to make once they fill out. Deion Sanders lands Cormani McClain as the top cornerback in the class, has flipped to the Colorado Buffaloes to go play for Prime. And Loyola Marymount halts Gonzaga's 76-game home winning streak last night, beating the Zags, so congratulations to them. We'll step aside. The Pistons in Paris. Who should be left there on that continent? We'll talk about that next. X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Post or Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive, boys and girls, high school sports, MHTV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and having a winter blast with up to $25,000. Every Saturday in January from 7 to 10 p.m., you can win $1,500 in premium play. Then, at 11 p.m. each week, one lucky player takes home $25,000 cash. That's $160,000 all month long. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Share your thoughts all morning long on the Meyer Guest Line. Call 248-951-2176. That's 248-951-2176. Now, back to Danny, Ryan, and AB.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you with us on this Friday weekend, right around the corner. Big weekend, the divisional round. We'll get into all of that. We're going to talk some Lions football next with our good buddy Benjamin Raven of MLive. We'll get into what took place in France. By the way, Terry sent in another text for an update. He said, here's something nice for U of M fans. The Wolverines men's tennis team, ranked number 5 in the nation, defeated number 6 ranked Tennessee yesterday in Ann Arbor. Sorry, Bill in Tennessee. So Bill in Tennessee catching some strays this morning. But it's hour 2. It's segment 2, which means it's time for impossible Detroit Lions trivia today. Let me grab my handy-dandy card here. By the way, did you see Jamal crossover? Jamal Crawford, Shaq,
that tweet that was sent out?
He and Shaq and Candace Parker were playing Jeopardy the other night on TNT. And Shaq got so mad he busted a clipboard because Jamal just got every question right.
Oh, no. There was a tweet a few days ago of, like, most 50-point games in these situations, and it listed, like, the 2 players, and he goes, one other person with 1. And then Jamal Crawford tweeted out, he goes, yeah, I'm the one person. Why couldn't you put my name on it?
Good for him. What player holds the Lions record of 19 points scored in a postseason game? Impossible.
$19 points scored?
Yeah.
I mean, you're thinking 3. Are you thinking 3 touchdowns? What are you thinking? 6 field goals? And an extra point? I don't know.
It's impossible.
Eddie Murray.
Eddie Murray is incorrect. Fullback and kicker Pat Harder, who did it against the Rams back in 1952.
That's what I was thinking. It had to be somebody that was scoring touchdowns and kicking.
Which is, I mean, that's a really good way. I mean, I feel like you would get a point just for going through the process there of, like, how would you get to 19 points? Who could that possibly be? And then to factor in, like, oh, back in the day when guys played 12 positions, let's find somebody who can kick and who can
shout out to Ron on YouTube, who also guessed Eddie Murray.
All right, Ron on YouTube. Yeah, there you go. All right, so yesterday we had the Pistons on the road in Paris. Really good hype video from NBA France. That was a lot of fun. They went overseas. We talked to Johnny Kane about it.
When I tell you they didn't even play the hype video, Anthony, on the pregame. That's how bad that NBA TV pregame was. Thank goodness for Bally Sports.
So and that's my bad. I didn't realize that it was going to be on Regional Sports Network. I thought this was an NBA, but then it made sense afterwards. And I was like, well, duh. He said George and Gregory and everybody's out there. And then I was like, well, everybody's out there. They got 200 people in their travel party. They got a guy for the Bulls that proposed to his girlfriend at dinner in Paris. How great is that? Good for him. Bad for the Pistons.
Smart man. Company dime, baby.
Not a work trip. I hope she kind of, like, backhand complimented that. Like,
she
jokingly.
Said, she said, me? For real? And he said, yeah, you. And she said, she looks at the ring, she bleep. Yeah. It's a fun video. You can tell those two have a lot of fun together. You know who else did that? Was Coach Barlow actually proposed to his wife as the team was overseas in Italy, and did it off the Italian coast. So pretty tough to beat those kind of proposals, folks. 126-108 was the final score. I propose that they leave Frenchman Killian Hayes there. They just leave him there. Because that guy, it's not all on him, but 2 for 13 from the field, 4 turnovers, 4 points. Anytime this guy scores 15 points in a game, people act like it's, oh my God, it's the second coming of Christ. Every single time. Oh, I told you, Killian. Dude, we've been watching this for 2.5 years. He is not a starting NBA point guard. Could he come off the bench and give you 18 minutes and be really good defensively? Absolutely. Is that a knock on Killian as an individual? No. It's a knock on where he was drafted at number 7, which was a horrendous pick. That was god-awful. And every night I got to see some new stat about how Tyrese Halliburton is out there doing something no NBA player has done this. Only Tyrese Halliburton's been able to do this. Ugh. And it's like, why didn't we take that guy? Why did we pass on him? Clearly, for some dude that wasn't playing in the top French league. What was the purpose here?
We wanted to tank for Wemby that early.
Yeah, 6-year-old Wemby. No, I'm teasing. But, like, this team, it's frustrating because they have built a culture that is just god-awful. It is. We're talking about, like, so even, like, Killian's a good on-ball defender. Last night there's a drive, or yesterday there's a drive by, I think, DeMar DeRozan. Killian's right there. DeRozan's going right down the right-hand side of the lane. Turns the corner on his man. He gets the bucket. Killian standing there in the short corner. Like, dude, you see the drive. You got to attempt to stop the ball. If he kicks it, then it's about recovering. But you can't just like, oh, there he goes, swipe at the ball. Here, have a layup. Let me get you. You need anything else on your way to the rim? Can I get you a water? Maybe a towel? Isaiah Stewart they've now sent him back into this role of center. A minus 23 on the night, 7 points, 11 rebounds, 1 of 10 from the field.
Did it seem like the ball was slippery? Because they could not hang on to the ball. It was weird.
The dew point in the arena was off.
I don't know. It was strange. It was like Jalen Duren, in the fourth quarter, he couldn't hang on to the ball. Every time he would go up for a rebound, it was slipping out of his hands.
Jalen Duren finished with 11 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers, 1 assist, 1 steal. He was a +5. He was 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 4 from the three-point line. He did all of that in 18 minutes. Jalen Duren, professional basketball player. Jaden Ivey, 7 of 14 from the field, really struggled from 3. Probably doesn't need to shoot 5. Had some bad turnovers. He had 4 turnovers, tied with Killian Hayes there. But 16 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. I'm fine with Jaden Ivey. You obviously know I love Jalen Duren and what he brings to this club. That's fantastic. Hamidou, let's give Hammy some love. It's 17 points in his 21 minutes, 7 of 8 from the floor. Let's go. How about this idea? How about this? Let's go Jaden Ivey at the 1, Hammy at the 2. Jalen Duren at the 5 with Bojan and Sadiq. Let's try that combination.
Yeah,
let's
Sadiq.
Give that.
I don't know about Sadiq, but they just.
Well, Sadiq's a bench player too. Like that. That's his ceiling is 6th, 7th, 8th man. That's what he is. He's not a starter at the NBA level.
He was a starter as a rookie. He was starter worthy as a rookie, Anthony, and he has gotten worse under this coaching staff.
And they
much,
said, well, we
much
told him
worse.
We told him to take a vacation because he's such a gym rat. We told him to take a vacation. Like, take some time away, take some time off.
Real quick.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, the Pistons called a timeout. Then on the back end of it, the Bulls called a timeout because they weren't ready. And then the Pistons took the ball out and did zip. How do you have 2 timeouts to come up with something, Dwayne, and you run zip?
Well, it's on the players. Could we stop blaming Dwayne? No. It starts at the top. That is. NFL playoff action continues. We're going to talk a little football next with Benjamin Raven. We're one step closer to Super Bowl 57 and the NFL's divisional round. Check out the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers bet $5, get $200 in free bets right now using the promo code HUGE, promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus. Michigan only. Bonus issues, free bets, eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms. We're back with more Benjamin Raven, unrestricted free agents. It's electric. Don't go anywhere. Stay locked right here to the Michigan Sports Network.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Freddy's Foundation at #PopTheTap at freddythepizzaman.com. That's FREDI, thepizzaman.com, or email freddythepizzaman@gmail.com.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Poster Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and finding piggy riches for up to $10,000. Every Friday in January, one lucky winner every hour from 7 to 11 p.m. will break the piggy and reveal their prize from $500 premium play all the way up to $10 grand in cash. Don't miss Piggy Riches, only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Galen, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Join us now, covering the Detroit Lions. He's got the beat for MLive. His name is Benjamin Raven. Find him on Twitter at Benjamin S. Raven. Welcome back to the program. Studio audience, they love you. How are you? How's life? How are things, my friend?
I'm doing all right. I'm adjusting to home life again. It's the weird first 10 days of the off season where you're still busy, but you've got nowhere to go. But like we just said, I don't have much to complain about this time of year for sure.
You know what? And it's odd, right? Because, this time of year, we're typically, okay, what do we do? What about this coaching staff? What about the draft? And then we got the big news earlier this week that Ben Johnson informed teams that he was actually going to return to the Detroit Lions. When you saw that news, what did that say to you about what this team actually believes is taking place in Ford Field?
I do believe it means a lot for the franchise, and it does speak to the franchise health that instead of kind of maybe pursuing one of these job processes, hiring processes to the end, that he kind of forgoed that opportunity to run it back in Detroit another year. Now, I mean, maybe he saw a lane where he wasn't going to get one of those jobs. I mean, that's the negative side of things. But I mean, at the end of the day, it says just complete culture shift. I mean, it's a complete culture shift around these parts. Free agents are telling them they want to be here. Coaches are coming back when they're some of the most hotly chased names on the coaching carousel right now. So I mean, it's a healthy franchise. It really is right now. It's a healthy franchise. Positive vibes through and through. I mean, that's just. It was surprised at just how it went down. I kind of expected him to be back just as a first-year play caller, first-year offensive coordinator, but just like surprised at how it went down. That's a big-time get, and he's gambling on himself and the Lions to take him to that next level.
Boy, I love that. And will that resonate at all with teams that might be interested in interviewing defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, who obviously took a lot of flack through that first 7 weeks of the season, but with the 8-2 turnaround, the final 10, people started to figure out, hey, they made a change in the coaching staff they felt was necessary. The defense was markedly improved over the remaining 10 weeks of the season. The pass rush was there, secondary was better, linebackers running sideline to sideline. Do you think that Ben Johnson's decision to come back and try to see this thing through, do you think that at all has an effect on Aaron Glenn in what might happen with teams that want to interview him and a decision that he might have upcoming?
It's a good question because I do believe that Aaron Glenn loves where he's at right now and loves being there with Dan Campbell, his like right-hand man for sure. But I do think that, I know he said he wants to be the best defensive coordinator, the best coordinator in Detroit Lions franchise history. And he wouldn't be that if he left right now. And that's not a knock on him, but I think he'll see these positions out. There's only 32 of these jobs, and it is the top of the profession. So it's just that's why I bring up the point. I wonder if Ben Johnson was like, all right, I'm not going to get one of these. I'm going to shift my focus fully back to the Lions as early as possible. But I do think these guys should see this process to the end. You can learn a lot from the process, and like I said, there's only 32 of these, and it's quite the pay bump when you get one of those jobs. So. But no, it's the thing for Aaron Glenn is what he's gotten out of his young defenders. The best pass rushing rookie class of all time. The new franchise, the new league record holder for a rookie class with the most sacks in the season. It's a league worst pass defense, but like it's like last year. You can see the improvement, you can see the growth, and you can see the young nucleus kind of growing and taking those all important steps forward under his leadership. After he took on more leadership in the secondary too, so he's an interesting candidate for teams too.
It's still a lot to play out here, but it does leave me just like a sliver of hope that everybody's kind of all bought in. And for what it's worth, if they want to take my $12 a season and they want to send that to these coaches to bump their pay, by all means, they just take it. Just keep winning games. That's all I care about. I'll work for free. All right. So now the meat and the potatoes of this, right? Because last week we talked about, our friend Jeff Risden wrote an article about 5 guys he didn't see as unrestricted free agents that would be returning to Detroit. This week we took a look at the full list of the 18 UFAs that the Lions might look to retain this year. Yesterday we went kind of through the list of maybe the top 5 that we would like. So that's where I want to start with you, Ben, who are the top 5 guys right now that are unrestricted free agents on this Lions team that you can't live without? Who are the 5 that you absolutely want back, no question?
John Kaminsky, Jamal Williams, Deshaun Elliott, Alex Anzalone, and DJ Chark. Those are the 5 primary targets in my mind for the team. Elliott might surprise some people, but I think that run defense really took a hit every time he wasn't in the lineup. I think he was a lot better than he got credit for, and they might need some help at safety depending on when Tracy Walker's back. It's still a young room, but those are the 5 guys for me. It'll be interesting on Chark and Williams, just on outside suitors, just the way we've seen the wide receiver market in recent years, and Jamal just had a pretty special season, but I do think those 5 guys, those are the 5.
Now, when you mentioned Alex Anzalone there, the linebacker in year 1 here with the franchise, we knew that he and Dan Campbell had a good connection, but there wasn't anything drastic about his game that really stood out, and he probably took a lot of criticism, which, rightfully so. 2021 was a little bit of a mess. This year, the guy was just a tackling machine. What did you see in the difference in his play that made for an improved 2022 year?
I think the scheme tweak really benefited him. He didn't. Nobody really came out and bashed it, but he did say that it was a transition. Kind of, he was on his toes and waiting, read and react. And this year it was go, go, go. And I think that really just kind of meshed with his style of play. And, he finally had a clean bill of health. I think he played all 17 games. He played 97, 98% of the defensive snaps. So that always helps too, because he'd always battled some injuries there throughout his career. So that always helps. But the thing about him, the thing why I think he's a guy that you have to have back, even if they upgrade the linebacker room, even if he starts in more of a rotation somehow, I just think he is so important to that defensive DNA, and not just performance wise, but he is the vocal leader on that young defense. He is the leader on that defense, and I just think he's in the top 5 or 10 important locker room presences, just even taking out performance out of there, just on this team. And I think as you're building this foundation, and obviously you want talent upgrades at positions like that, but he is still very integral to this thing moving forward, I think. He's the captain of the ship on that defense. He deserves a lot of credit for his improved play and just kind of for embracing his role here.
So we touched on 2 absolute tackling machines in Deshaun Elliott, who had a great run grade from Pro Football Focus, or a great tackling grade, I should say, and Alex Anzalone, who went for over 100. You had mentioned another guy on that defensive side, John Kaminsky, and this was a guy who saw very, very limited opportunities in his time in Atlanta. He asked for a release. The Detroit Lions claim him off a waiver. Whatever the Lions saw, whoever saw him in their pro scouting department said, hey, this is, 7 other teams put in waiver claims as well. And so, they allow him to kind of compete for a role here. And then all of a sudden, this guy's out there running around with 2 sock and boppers on his hands. He's oven mitts. He's gloved up. He can't even use them. And he just excels and flourishes, and the folks that may not have even known that he signed, who is John Kaminsky? What was that, 79 out there? What is he doing? And he turned out to be, we talk about value. That's John Kaminsky right there.
Yeah, and he's the type of glue player that just is fit for this culture, fit for this coaching staff, fit for this roster. He is the definition of the pick up your lunch pail and go to work type guy. Doesn't want to talk about himself. The one thing he did talk about after the season was just how expressing, full on expressing. This was before the Instagram post where he's telling Lions fans to ask the team to bring back the commish. He told us in the locker room that's I want to be here. I want to help Mac. I want to help Hutch. I want to help James Houston. I want to help Julian O'Clair. I want to kind of be the mentor for those guys. That's great and all, but the guy was a low key pressure creating machine at times this year. He had one game, I think, where he had 9 pressures. Ended the season with just a lights out game against the Packers in Green Bay. Had some big time plays in that. And like you said, I can't wait to see what the guy can do without 2 oven mitts on his hands. When he can use his full hands, because he was an all important glue piece, and it would be wise to bring him back, I think, to that kind of growing defensive line room.
Boy, and you know what? When he played, they were fantastic, right? When he was in the lineup, right? They were a winning football team. He makes a difference, and it's really interesting to see when you had Hutch and you had Kaminsky and you had James Houston and even Josh Pascal, very, very limited. But that idea of the Lions featuring a NASCAR type of package where they're going to throw out a ton of speed in one inside technique guy and just let it fly. Like I love that. I love the fact that we have options, and it's not just like let's just stick 4 guys there and then pray to God somebody creates a pressure. You also mentioned Jamal Williams. We all know his story. DJ Chark is very, very interesting because out of the 9 starters that are UFAs here in 2023, Chark might be the only one who has a guaranteed starting role if he comes back. Do you think that money is going to be crazy for him? Do you think that, Detroit seemed to be a really good fit for him, that this might be a place where he can see himself being a part of, as we keep alluding to, something special with Amon-Ra St. Brown, the development of Jamison Williams. You have Josh Reynolds, you have Khalif Raymond. Is this a group that he wants to continue to work with?
I did get that feeling, and I really did think he kind of fit in well there. And when he was healthy and on the field, I mean, he really provided that downfield threat that they needed. I mean, if you can get him back another short-term deal, another big one-year deal while Jameson Williams continues to develop, then I think that's a home run. But like you alluded to, I mean, the wide receiver market, I mean, it's spiked in recent years. And a 6'4", 200-pound guy that can stretch the field and add some yak, I mean, you can easily envision a couple multi-year deals. I mean, the first team that comes to mind is a team like the Bears with all that cap space and the lack of receivers. I mean, it's really easy to see a team throwing 2 years, 3 years, and a little too happy at the price tag for the Lions to at receiver, but I think they'd like him back. I honestly think he'd like to come back, but it's all going to be about what they can offer him and what they can compete with, because they're not going to go neck and neck matching offers, I feel like, on him with what they have at receiver. But I do think he's important enough that they would like to have him back on a similar deal. I think he got 1 year, $10 million, almost nearly all guaranteed. That's not too bad. He had another injury shortened season, so yeah, we'll see. That's going to be an interesting one to track. I could see that going a couple of different ways.
Yeah, I think that, in most Lions fans, you just kind of prepare for another team to throw out an offer that's really good, and then you just kind of roll from there. But you feel comfortable in the event that you were to lose them. So I got the 5 guys that you have to have. Who are 5 guys that you want to have? These are guys that, that if the money works out, you think that they're going to be, I guess key contributors to this team, because everybody on this list basically was a contributor last year. But who are 5 guys that you would like to have back?
Josh Woods and C.J. Moore, 2 all-important special teams pieces. I think they should pursue that. I think Isaiah Buggs, I think they should upgrade defensive tackle, but there's a rotational spot for him. And he's in that kind of same conversation as Kaminsky, a little quieter leader, but he was a kind of guy that those guys started rallying around there. I mean, I really remember guys rallying around him coming out of that Jaguars game, that Vikings game, where he had some nice moments. So that's somebody. And the name I didn't expect to have on here, but Will Harris. I mean, he is proven to be a much better slot corner nickel guy than he was a safety, and that's where this team has a couple of major holes. So I'd bring him back, let him compete for a job in camp, and then the last name, and it's one that I see gone, but I think I'd want to have him back, and it's Evan Brown, just because what he can offer you as a backup center. He was a cert on because I think he's earned himself some money, but he's definitely one that deserves to come back or should come back if they can make it happen.
And then because those are great picks and for a couple of great reasons there. And Evan Brown is such an interesting case because it's like, man, how much money is he going to command? And is that a fit for this team? Moving forward, for a guy that can play a little guard, play a little center, and gives you a little bit of depth there on the offensive line that with big Halapoulivaati Vaitai out, we desperately needed. Who are 5 guys that you don't see returning? And the reason, obviously with 18 guys that are UFAs. We have 15 players here. We know they're not going to re-sign everybody. They got a new incoming draft class and plus external free agents as well. So 5 guys that you see not returning to this team.
Amani is gone. I feel like that one. I just feel like both sides there need a fresh start. He had just a disastrous season, never won his job back, and lost a lot of money this year after last year's breakout, unfortunately for him. Austin Bryant, I don't see him coming back with kind of the way it's kind of going to the pass rusher, edge rusher, defensive end room with Charles Harris and Romeo Farah, question marks on their contracts. I don't see Austin Bryant coming back. I've got Justin Jackson there. I just think Yeah, they're a little thin at running back, but he's somebody that could be able to find another home and find a home before training camp this time around. I really think that would benefit him. And then Chris Board, he came to Detroit looking for a linebacker job. He ended up being the all-important special teams piece that we kind of thought he was going to be. But, it's easy to see him looking for a spot. And I don't think Mike Hughes will come back. As much as Dan Campbell loved playing Hughes over Okuda at the end of the season, I don't think he'll be back. I just think that they need to upgrade inside, outside cornerbacks for sure. And he's kind of in that Chris Board category, probably looking for a more meaty role.
Wow, man, I didn't expect Hughes. The other ones, I was like, okay, all right, yeah. I felt bad for Manio Barrier because I really thought coming off of 2021, like I just didn't want to have one bad year, crush him. But you're right, a new start, some new scenery could be good for both sides. Austin Bryant, yes, but man, I was really hoping that Mike Hughes was going to make that our arbitrary list here. And obviously, for all the fans, you could share with us who you desperately want to keep on this team. But it is a very interesting situation where it feels like we have some tough questions to get answered. And I think that in itself is a luxury.
No, absolutely. And it's at the point of the rebuild where you are going to have more of these tough decisions on guys you like, guys they like, guys that did their job to their liking. But it's just like at some point you've got to upgrade the talent. And that's kind of where Mike Hughes falls for me. I mean, there's some things that he was solid in the slot. He struggled in the slot. Excuse me. He showed something on the outside, and he does have some talent. He's got some skill. He's a veteran guy, but I just think kind of like with the Albert Pleasant firing, like there's got to be some changes in that secondary. And I just think that's a spot where you need to upgrade the talent. And those are going to be some of the tough decisions here as this rebuild hits into another level as you're competing for division titles.
He is Benjamin Raven. Find him on Twitter at Benjamin S. Raven. Read his work on MLive. Benjamin, my friend, thank you so much for your time as always, partner. We greatly appreciate it. It's always wonderful to see inside Ford Fields. Everybody's hustling and bustling, trying to get from point A to point B, from press row down to the locker room, or running, trying to get in the buffet line. You got to block out, get your elbows wide. Make sure you get a plate there, man. It's great. Let's touch base soon as we get closer to draft time.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. 5
you can't live without, 5 you want to have, and 5 you see going. I thought those answers were pretty good. And of course, there's 18 undrafted free agents. The reason we did 5, 5, and 5 is because with the new draft class, that a couple of these guys are going to be gone regardless, and then you just kind of got to figure out on your priority list. And one of those guys is going to be DJ Chark. He played on a 1-year, $10 million prove-it deal. What does that mean for him moving forward? Being one of the big play creators in the NFL this season, was his overall production worth $10 million a year? I've seen 3 at 30, kind of floating around a little bit. I don't know. Might be a little expensive for my blood, but we'll have to wait and see what General Manager Brad Holmes wants to do. We'll step aside. Hour number 3 coming at you next here of X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
It's time to go on the court with Johnny Kane.
The NFL playoff action continues. We are one step closer to Super Bowl 57, and for the NFL Divisional round, check out DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HUGE during the NFL Divisional round and get $200 in free bets instantly, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The Pistons and Bulls performed on the global stage in last night's NBA Paris game, and it was Chicago who proved too much, winning 126-108. Zach LaVine went for a game-high 30. DeMar DeRozan scored 26 as the Bulls led wire-to-wire in front of a sold-out Accor Arena. Bojan Bogdanovic led Detroit with 25 as Bogey eclipsed a milestone for the Pistons, knocking down a 3 in the final minute of the game, lifting him to 10,000 career points. Next up for the Pistons, at home, Monday against the Bucks.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Poster Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Bill's
Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before in the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at beangarter.com. That's BEENEGARTR.com. Also, Tom has stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Bean Garter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.
We might have just come out with our most refreshing Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer yet. It's called the Essential Collection. It's made with coconut water and real fruit juice, so it's always going to have a real refreshing fruit taste. Can refreshing get any more refreshing? Yep, it can, and it just did. Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, made with coconut water and real fruit juice for a superior taste. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Organic Seltzer, IRC Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's time for Michigan Sports Talk Morning Show, broadcasting live all across the state of Michigan and Northwest Ohio. This is X's and Bros.
Swings it out to Sadiq Bey. Gets Benny B to to Abdul-Rahman at midcourt. Extra pass. And it goes for the win. The three-pointer by Jordan Poole. Here's the give. Walker. Kenneth Walker. Touchdown. Smarty. Goff's got it. Back. Looks. Throws. Ends up. Yes. Caught. Touchdown. Detroit Lions. They did it. Amon-Ra St. Brown in the receiving end. Sends one to deep left center field. Back it goes, and that ball's out of here.
A grand slam from Br0's. He's got 2 goals. Larkin in on goal. Scores! His first career hat trick in his 7th season for Dylan Larkin.
Here's your host, Anthony Bellino.
Rise and shine, folks. Welcome back here, X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network. Danny Cahalan, Ryan Elke, Anthony Bellino, all joining you. Thank you for joining us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. From Traverse City down to the Glass City, GR to the Motor City, we say good morning to you. We welcome you. We thank you. We appreciate you. And, of course, we encourage you. Join the program at any time. Text the keyword Sports Radio. Send that to 21,000. Sports Radio to 21000. Meyer Supercenter guest line 248-951-2176, 248-951-2176 on Twitter, XB Mornings, Facebook, X's and Bros. And, of course, good morning to our television audience as well on BCSN and streaming live on the old YouTube at Michigan Sports Network. Just add a .com to that. You can find us on the web. xbmornings@gmail.com is our fan feedback email inbox, and you can always hit us up individually on Twitter. Danny Cahalan is at Dan in the studio. Ryan Elke is at RyanL_Key, and I'm Anthony Bellino at AC Bellino. What's going on in the sports world? Well, we'll try to get you all caught up on this Friday morning, the 20th day of January, 2023. The weekend is here. The divisional round is here. We're going to get to all of that and more. But first, let's get you caught up with what's happening in the headlines.
Big news.
I have a little news flash.
Let's check the headlines. Nah, it's real news for once. The biggest stories of the local, regional, and national news.
This is huge news.
Huge news coming out of South Bend. Notre Dame coach Mike Br0's is going to step down at the end of the season. His 23-year run in South Bend is coming to a close. He is the winningest, that's right, the winningest coach in men's basketball history there for the Fighting Irish. As much as I do pick on Notre Dame, because they won't join a conference, and they should be in the Big Ten, but, whatever. It is a very special place. It's very interesting to get to because it's nothing but like open field and corn the entire way that you get there. But once you get there and you get on campus, it is a very, very special, very unique place.
The only time I was there, we tailgated next to Luke Herringody's parents, and
Luke
literally
Herringody.
The entire. I'm not joking. This was, in the early 2000s, 2006 or something. So we didn't have any pictures, but the entire Notre Dame basketball team tailgated with us.
Troy Murphy there.
It was crazy.
Dude, Troy Murphy just looked like he had like the biggest cranium ever. Man, I didn't expect to see or hear a Luke Herringody.
Yeah, we were like, my dad comes over, he's like, dude, that's Luke Herringody's parents. I was just talking to them. The whole team is going to come over. I was like, what?
Son, this is who I wanted you to be when you were growing up.
Yeah, exactly.
A good Irish Catholic boy.
Yep, that was me. That's who he wanted me to be.
Did you go to the game?
Yes, yeah. It
Who
poured
they play?
rain. It was Michigan Notre Dame.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It poured rain.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that happened. Last Notre Dame
It was
game
fun. Oh, don't get me wrong. It was a great experience. Like, you're outside in Notre Dame. What else do you want? It's going to be weather.
Yeah, I went, hung out. Dan Hicks and Doug Flutie called. They're like, "You want to come on?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll come over and hang out with you guys."
Dan Hicks is married to Hannah Storm. I was shocked when I saw that.
I did know that actually, which is surprising because Hannah looks very tall on television. And if you've met Dan Hicks, he also, he and Doug Flutie are like, yeah, hey. I got in there. I was like, Doug, you played professional football? dude, you're like 5'5". It's incredible. But it was Catholics versus convicts. It was Miami against Notre Dame. So that was a fun game. My dad and I sat on these wooden bleachers, and our rear ends hurt so bad the entire time. And I'm like, why? It's Notre Dame. Why do we have wood bleachers? Like, come on. Wisconsin in Northwestern has been pushed to a later date. That one's been postponed for a second straight contest here by the Wildcats men's basketball team because of COVID-19 health and safety protocols. Wildcats were slated to host Wisconsin on Saturday, but they announced Thursday night the game will not be played as scheduled. And remember, they also had their Iowa game that is going to be rescheduled as well. Their next game is supposed to be Tuesday against Nebraska on the road. We'll see what happens for a little Nebraska ball. Loyola Marymount stopped Gonzaga's home winning streak at 76 by a 68-67 victory last night, beating the sixth-ranked Zags. That's incredible. 76 consecutive home wins. What a juggernaut Gonzaga has built there on the West Coast. Deion Sanders lands the top cornerback commit. Cormani McLean read an awesome article. If you have a chance and you have a subscription to The Athletic, Bruce Feldman's column on all-pro players and their star rankings as far as recruiting. Because we all know that stars matter, right? You want the 4- and 5-star kid. We're always evaluated 4-star, 5-star. And you start to look at some of the rosters and the makeup of some of these NFL teams, and it goes into why are there more, the average rank of an all-pro offensive player was like 2.5 stars or something crazy like that. But for a defensive player, it was like 4.5. And so the article went into a deep dive about how, like, a guy like Cormani McLean, as the number one cornerback in the country, he's expected to be a professional already. Like, that's where he projects to be a number one corner. Like, that's crazy to think about it. 14, 16, 18 years old, your path is basically laid out. You just got to compete. You got to grind. You got to love it. And you got to not screw it up. So he's going to go play with Coach Prime out there in Buffalo. Buffalo's got to be I don't know what the odds are to win the Pac-12, but they got to be up there right now. Austin Matthews and David Pasternak, a.k.a. Pasta, among 12 voted to the All-Star game. So each division's got 3 guys in already. We'll have the full rosters for you when those are released. The Boston Bruins have discussed resting their captain, Patrice Bergeron, 37-year-old. Might get some load management, although he did take a puck off the schnoz the other night. Hurricanes winger Max Pacioretty had a non-contact injury in their win against the Minnesota Wild last night, and it did not look good. It was, there was nobody near him. He was looking to pass the puck. He took a few strides, made a quick cut, and his right leg gave out, and it was It was ugly. It fell to the ice. That's not a good sign at all for Max. Bulls atop the Pistons with the Stars looking on. The Paris game. Oh, yes. The Stars were looking on. So were the Pistons defense. They were looking as well. They were watching the Chicago Bulls during that 4-quarter travesty. The Mavs big man Christian Wood, the former Detroit Piston, is going to be sidelined with a fractured thumb. That's not good at all. They need all hands on deck because the Western Conference is a little bit of a dogfight right now. The Buccaneers have fired their offensive coordinator, Byron Leftwich. I think that's a shocking. Byron Leftwich was the hottest head coaching name all last year, and it was like, oh, guy, why aren't they hiring Byron Leftwich? Now he gets fired. They should have fired Todd Bowles, what they should have done, and elevated Byron Leftwich. General manager believes that the Lamar Jackson deal will get done. He'll finish his career with the Ravens. We'll have to wait and see. What's interesting about this, Lamar is his own representative. He does not have an agent. So it's just something to keep. Eric DeCosta is the general manager out there in Baltimore, and that is something that they need to get done. He's going to be somewhere he's going to be north of $40 million, that's for sure. The question is, what's his yearly cap number going to be? What can they convert into a signing bonus? How much is guaranteed? Because he's going to fall, like, you're going to look at Kyler Murray's deal and say, he got how much? You're going to look at Deshaun Watson and say, he got how much? And then Patrick Mahomes, obviously being the top end of those top 5 paid. So you're looking at the top 5, you average that out. That's where we get our franchise tag number. It's going to be somewhere around 44, 45 million a season. That's crazy. Dolphins have fired their defensive coordinator, Josh Boyer, after 3 seasons in their role. I didn't really think that was necessary. I thought their defense was actually relatively good over the last couple of years. Defense and special teams won them some football games. And the Vikings have fired their defensive coordinator, Ed Donatel, after an early playoff exit. Their defense was atrocious this year. We're going to step aside when we return. The Pistons travel to Paris, and they are awful. Plus, NFL best bets for the divisional round schedule. All that and more here on X's and Bros on the Michigan Sports Network.
We played for the thrill. That rush you feel with the game on the line. I'm Herman Moore, Lions All-Pro wide receiver. Now, with Eagle Casino and Sports, the new sportsbook app from Soaring Eagle, anywhere I'm at, I'm still in the game.
Sign up now and get up to $1,000. That's right, up to $1,000 for a risk-free bet on your next favorite underdog, parlay, or prop.
Eagle Casino and Sports. Made in Michigan, made for Michigan.
Must be 21 or older and in Michigan to play.
Huge here for the Michigan High School Athletic Association. You can stay up to date on the latest from Lansing 24/7 at MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. The latest news, press releases, and stories connected to every high school in the state of Michigan, available for you 24/7 from the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Log on to MHSAA.com, at MHSAA on Twitter, and MHSAA on Facebook. And if you're looking for archive boys and girls high school sports, MHSAA.TV. That's MHSAA.TV. 24/7, everything you need to know about high school sports in Michigan. Log on to MHSAA.com.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Post or Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Welcome back here to X's and Bros, Michigan Sports Network. Great to have you riding along with us, no matter who you are, where you are, how you may be listening, all across the great state of Michigan and in Northwest Ohio as well. As any special reason for that song, Dan?
Yes, the Br0's member, original member, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and then Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young member, David Crosby, dead. 81, I think they said.
Oh, wow.
Absolute music legend.
Well, there you have it.
I know you, Anthony, you didn't know who Neil Young was, who was in Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, but you at least know that band. And I'm sure you know this song. This is the Br0's.
I have heard this song. Wouldn't say that I know this song, but I've heard the song. And you mentioned the name to me. I was like, I don't know. Like, I need a reference point. And then once you said the band name, I said, okay, all right. I can see that. Got a text here. In your honest opinion, if John Beilein was still your head coach, would said player be making those gestures after buckets? From observing from the outside looking in, seems like a culture issue going on in AA since 2019. Any reason why this may be happening? Harder is I can't repeat that next line. And who's harder?
Pat Harder.
Okay.
The trivia question answer.
Gotcha. All right. I was like, what is this in reference to? I can't repeat the second portion of that. This is a family-friendly show. All right. The Pistons were in Paris yesterday. An absolutely dismal performance. And for a guy who hasn't played in front of his family, I don't know if it's pressure. I don't know if he's just not an NBA player, or at least an NBA starter. But Killian Hayes in 31 minutes was 2 of 13 from the field, scored 4 points, did have 8 assists, was a minus 14, and added 4 turnovers. And for as much as we were very much happy with the 3 all-rookie selections that Troy Weaver had drafted in Cade Cunningham his rookie year, and then Saddiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart in their rookie years, we have seen maybe a guy like Saddiq Bey, who a lot of people didn't know about coming out of college, and same with Beef Stew, that these are 2 guys that surprised a lot of Pistons fans. And because there really wasn't a whole lot to be happy about, we probably overvalued a little bit. We tend to do that with our stars, because it's not like, we don't have a LeBron James, for example, right? I mean, how many times, we had Calvin Johnson, we have Barry Sanders, Steve Yzerman, right? I mean, we've had our fair share of stars. The going to work Pistons were not a star-laden team. You would have Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, if you want to go back to the Bad Boys era, they had stars, but we really haven't had any. And right now, we tend to overvalue a little bit. We have some budding stars with the Lions and Aiden Hutchinson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, absolutely. But I think Saddiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart were a little bit overvalued, but they had really nice rookie seasons. They've tried to adjust Isaiah Stewart's game a little bit and begin to, instead of playing him as an undersized center at 6'8", it's just not big enough. It's not. Like, it's not big enough when you got to see 7-footers every night. Like, that's a drastic difference. He just, I love the motor. I love what he brings to the table. I just don't believe that he is a starter at the NBA level. And so if he was coming off the bench in a stretch 4 type of position, that old school power forward, I have no problem if a team doesn't want to go 5 out and just go 7 seconds of offense and shoot threes all day. I don't like that style of basketball. Maybe I'm old. I don't know. But if Saddiq Bey was coming in off the bench and giving you 20 minutes a night, that would be fantastic in a four-man role. Saddiq Bey, the same way. In a threes role, to be able to spy a guy like Bojan Bogdanovic, who wasn't, as a number 3 scorer, he's not a lockdown defender by any stretch. He's a professional shooter. That's what he does. We know this. Jaden Ivey has shown his explosiveness, needs to be better shooting the basketball. I think that will come. Just 1 of 5 from 3 last night. And, of course, Jalen Duren. I can't get enough Jalen Duren in my life. I want him to play 70 minutes a night. Like, leave him on the court the entire time. Obviously, coming off of an ankle, he only plays limited minutes, 18 minutes, finishes with 11 points, 12 rebounds on a perfect 4 of 4 from the field and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Professional. Hamidou Diallo, like, keep giving him more minutes, man, because he keeps putting the biscuit in the basket. He's a hustle player. He brings a lot of energy. He's got crazy athleticism, but I don't necessarily like some of this other stuff. Like Killian Hayes, for example, like after next year, after this season, that should be less than 20 minutes. Less than. Like if he's coming off the bench, fine. To give a guy like Jaden Ivey a breather, great. This season has been an absolute wash, and the effort last night, or yesterday, I should say, defensively, the best way I know how to describe that is disappointing. Like, why go all the way to Paris if you're not even going to try to rotate on defense? Let's get over to USDA Scott, who is on the Meyer Supercenter guest line. Good morning to you, Scott. How are you, my friend?
Good. How you doing, buddy? You can keep expressing your frustration. It's the one glaring issue, and yeah, it goes to defense. It goes to scheme. It goes to all of those things. And Jaden Ivey getting an average of 23 or 24 minutes a game, something like it. The problem is, do you remember? You're not old enough. I was going to say, do you remember Magic Johnson or Jordan in their first couple of years? They couldn't shoot the basketball either. But they were incredible athletes and incredible players and incredible basketball now. That kid should be out there all the time. And with all the youth we got, and I think Kate's going to be a good player, but all the youth we got there and then all the draft picks, and I think they probably could package Bogey and get maybe a second round or a first round for him and get some more youth in there and then bring in honestly, and you're probably going to hate that I say this, because of all the youth, bring in a guy like Coach Cal, and because I think he's ready to be done at Kentucky, and I don't know that he wants.
Oh, I would love that. I'd bring in Coach Cal, absolutely. Then he doesn't have to worry about paying players under the table, right? I mean, just bring him anybody at this point. I don't care. Like
well,
I'm
just saying because you have all that youth, and he knows how to do it, and he is patient with his youth, unlike some coaches. And let him build it up. What he can't deal with is prima donnas, and that's when he went to Boston and some of the other places that didn't work for him because. Now I shouldn't say prima donna. I'm just saying established players. They don't listen. They're not going to. I mean. They'll listen, but you got to be proven for them to listen to you. So, I think a situation like that would be perfect for them. And you have a similar situation at Michigan. I think I know Juwan. I think he's a hell of a recruiter. I think he knows the game as good as most coaches do. I think. He has a low tolerance for mistakes and things like that, and it doesn't come out at his players. It comes out in frustration, and I think he's going to be an incredible NBA coach. I think he'll go back to the NBA, but and let's face it, I think the game's passed by Martelli. So what he's throwing in to help out is not helping out. So I feel bad for that because I watched a little bit of the Arizona State and UCLA game last night, and your point guard, Big Frank, he didn't look great, but he was a good player, and you have a lot of talent. I'll be honest with you. I mean, in evaluating talent, you probably have top 3 talent in the Big Ten, and that's not a joke.
No, I would agree. It's the lack of results here right now is utterly shocking for Michigan basketball. And Lenardi doesn't have them on first 4 out or next 4 out. Like they are outside looking in right now for March. We got to hit the break. We'll be back with more X's and Bros after this here on the Michigan Sports Network.
Bill Simonson here for my good friend Tom Rosenbach. Now, he's a managing partner at Bean Carter. They're one of America's top accounting and business firms. They're based in downtown Grand Rapids. They now have merged with Dorn Mayhew from the east side of the state, and they're stronger than ever before. In the state of Michigan, the Midwest, and coast to coast when it comes to your accounting and business needs. Find out more at BeeneGarter.com. That's BeeneGarter.com. Also, Thomas stepped up with $1,500 in cash in the Beat Huge Pro Football Picks contest. Now, if you beat my picks just 1 week, you'll be in the drawing at the end of the pro football season for $1,500 in cash from Tom Rosenbach and Beene Garter. Thursday night game is always a freebie. You have until Sunday morning to play every week through the big game. You can play once or play every week. Do what you want to, but get your picks in now at thehugeshow.net.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle and having a winter blast with up to $25,000. Every Saturday in January from 7 to 10 p.m., you can win $1,500 in premium play. Then, at 11 p.m. each week, one lucky player takes home $25,000 cash. That's $160,000 all month long. Only at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Get more for your money when you shop Meijer. This week, find great deals like select apple varieties, just $1.49 per pound. Poster Kellogg's cereal for $2.49 each. And buy one, get one 50% off family-size Oreo or Chips Ahoy cookies. And make packing lunches and snacks easier and get $1.50 off Ziploc food storage bags. Plus, get the same low Meijer prices no matter how you shop, in-store or online. Get more for your money at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
it's Friday. So great to have another Friday here. 20th day of January 2023. Oh, it's exciting times, folks.
New romance. They're speaking the truth.
Everybody is working for the weekend. And this weekend, the NFL playoff action continues one step closer to Super Bowl 57 for the NFL's divisional round. Check out the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the National Football League. And here's the deal, folks. If you place a $5 wager on the divisional round and you're a new customer over at DraftKings right now and you use the promo code HUGE to make huge money on DraftKings, you get $200 in free bets instantly, just like that. Bet $5 on the divisional round, get $200 in free bets instantly. Promo code HUGE only at DraftKings. Now, if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, wants help, needs help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline, 800-270-7117, 21 plus, Michigan only. Bonus issued is free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings/football terms. We love football terms. All right, and we've got our own wagers going on, and it was a bad wild card. Super wild card weekend was anything but super for ya boy. We were miserable this past weekend. I can't believe it. Threw up a donut. Good God almighty. All my teams just stunk. But we're going to be better this week. I was 0-6, correct, Ryan?
Correct.
Couldn't pick my nose.
Yeah.
You guys were 2-4?
2-4. Yeah, not a great
not
week.
bad.
Not great. Not good.
No. But, think about it. Like 2-4, you're 2 out of 4, 33%, you're losing money. But you go, or 2 out of 6, pardon me. If you go out 2 out of 6 in Major League Baseball, you're a Hall of Famer. It's all about perspective. Glass half full here. We're going to rally. We're going to rebound. We're using the promo code HUGE. What do we got out there, Mr. Elke?
All righty. It's super divisional round because everything's super now for the playoffs in the NFL.
Yes.
We're going to start Saturday. We're going to Kansas or Missouri, wherever they want to play this weekend. They could pick either state. Jacksonville, the Jaguars, they're traveling to take on the Chiefs. This line has moved up to 9 for Kansas City.
Can I even trust Kansas City at this point?
Can I even trust Jacksonville?
No, I can't trust anybody, apparently. Like, this is, I don't know, man. I got to roll with the Chiefs. I have to, because it's Patrick Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce. It's touchdown Kansas City. The Chiefs are better than the Chargers. If I know Trevor Lawrence had a great second half, but if he does that and has that kind of careless mistakes with the football in the first half, this thing's going to be over. I think 9 points is a lot. Jacksonville probably covers, but I'm taking the Chiefs.
You're crazy. You can't 9 points in the playoffs, Anthony. Come on, give me the Jags. 100%.
If, teams didn't lose by 9 points or more.
Yeah, this guy's going to act like the Seahawks-Niners game didn't exist last week.
Right.
Come on, like the G-Men didn't beat the Vikings by 7. Like, it's possible.
Well, 7's not 9. We'll go to basic math. But
yeah, the Giants don't have the offense the Chiefs have either. They didn't run around with Patrick Mahomes out there.
No, they have Danny Dimes, but we'll talk about him. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. Seems like when they make the playoffs, they like to make a little noise. When it's Blake Bortles, Mark Brunell.
Combat.
So they're like the Miami Marlins. Like, they make their playoff runs count. They're few and far between, but they make them count. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars to cover that 9 in Kansas City. Saturday night, we have
Nice
Danny
jersey,
Dimes.
by the way.
Thank you. It's what they wore last night. So it was very fitting. Yeah, Danny Dimes. They're traveling to the Link. Jalen Hurts off the injury report. Philadelphia, 7.5-point favorites.
Oh, man. I mean, don't do this to me, Jalen Hurts. Don't do it to me. We got to end New York Scott's reign of terror. I'm tired of hearing about how all of a sudden Brian Dable fixed Daniel Jones. Like, oh, get out of here. I'm tired of hearing about this. Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly on the road to victory. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles.
Give me the Giants. Eagles win by 7.
That would be heartbreaking. Because it's 7 and a hook.
As long as that bum, that scrub, Kenny Galladay, the inferior Kenny G in life, does not show up and get some destroy New York Scott's hopes, and then for him to not call him Monday after the loss, as he always does.
It's smart of him. He has a cool down period. It's like the 24-hour rule. So they play.
They play Saturday, so he can calm down on Sunday.
But typically you play on a Sunday, 24-hour rule. It's what you always tell parents in sports, right? 24-hour. Everybody go home, have an orange slice, drink a beer. Not the kids, the adults. Relax. It's just youth sports, and then call or come talk to me after practice. Give yourself 24 hours to cool down. Apply that in life. It works out great.
Anyway, Philly crowd, go. It's what the NFL wanted to. NFC East matchup on a Saturday night. It's beautiful for them. Moving on to Sunday, we have a rematch of the Monday Night Football game that never happened. It's the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo, 5.5-point favorites at home.
It's a worthless line. That if it was 3.5, sure. If it was 7, sure. 5.5. Lee Sterling. What would Lee Sterling say about this?
The garbage line.
Garbage line. I'm gonna go with the Bengals. I'm gonna go with the Bengals, and I don't know. Obviously, it's gonna be a very emotional game. I think Buffalo's defense has been a little bit suspect. Josh Allen has regressed a little bit as the season has gone on. And careless with the football. Give me the Bengals. Joey Burrow, put the buffs on. Smoke a dart in the locker room. How about a Fresca? Cincy.
Hey, I'm.
Teams don't lose by 6 in the playoffs.
I should have looked. I wanted to look at the weather in Buffalo because we're
33 degrees and overcast.
Ugh. It says 34 and snow on Sunday in Buffalo.
I got AccuWeather. What do you got?
I got the Apple. It's only 70% of the area or whatever they claim. Give me the Bills. They're gonna roll over the Bengals after their game got canceled a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Cincinnati won that game. They were leading 7-3 early in the second quarter. If you didn't remember, some Cincinnati
lot of
fans
insensitive people on Twitter.
Cincinnati fans are trying to claim that as a win. Josh Allen, rocket arm, looks good in shorts, but been turning the ball over too much. I think this is a field goal game. Give me Cincinnati to cover, plus 5.5. I think this comes down to the wire, but give me Cincy in the 5.5.
Worst thing Buffalo has is that godforsaken train horn. Dude, they blare that horn like every single play.
It's a foghorn, isn't it?
It's a death horn.
Yeah, it's bad. A lot of people are like, this game should be kicked off. It should be 7-3 when they start. I'm like, dude, relax.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what are you guys talking about? Have a heart, would you? I don't know. I don't know what's going on there in Buffalo. Secondary hasn't been as good. Pass rush not as good. Joey Burrow, but the Bengals offensive line
they're
not
gone.
Great, so
it's like the Bengals of last year. It's just a lot of injuries there. That's what scares me about taking the Bengals there. But I just think this is going to be a great game, best game of the weekend. Hopefully. Normally good, but moving on to Sunday night.
Woo.
We know who the NFL's rooting for. They're rooting for the Dallas Cowboys because they won an NFC East matchup on Fox for the NFC Championship, because they give us an NFC East matchup every Sunday in the 4:25 window.
America's game of the week.
America's game of the week. America's game of the year. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. It's 1987 all over again. And now the 49ers are those scum Cowboys.
Rivalry game. Dak Prescott, came out slinging. Typically, good quarterbacks will have a bounce back game after a little bit of a disaster there to close down the regular season. They look down Tony. Zeke Elliott out, Tony Pollard in. What's it going to cost to cut Zeke and save some money? That's what I want to know if I'm Jerry Jones. I don't need that guy doing a little cereal spoon thing. Brock Purdy, the legend continues. San Francisco's defense, too good. Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Mr. Irrelevant, leads them to victory by more than 4.5 points. They win the game and continue Cinderella story, Cinderella man, and they will get the Eagles.
NFL rigged happen this weekend. As Anthony said, it's Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Mr. Irrelevant, a.k.a. BCB. Give me the 49ers for -10. Tony Pollard, who? It's going to be Nick Bosa burying him into the ground and not complaining about his brother Joey. Like, flag on that dummy, huh? Because you are a dummy. You threw your helmet. Better Bosa in this matchup. Give me the San Francisco 49ers. And they take on the Eagles.
Wow. And there you have it. Your NFL best bets for the divisional round. I got to be better. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. You know, we got to be better. We got to pick better. I thought my rationale for last week, there's no way the Jacksonville Jaguars should have won that game. No way.
The Chargers one has to hurt the most. That's Dan and I each had the Jags. That one's got to hurt.
It did. I watched that game. You know, just telling me about this leg parlay that he cleaned house in game one. It's got every game of the NFL on it. It like crazy stuff, like individual props, like Austin Eckler touchdown, anytime touchdown. You know what I mean? It's just like, and he's I'm on my way. $5 win 160,000. I'm like, dude, it's wild card week. How many games do you have? And you got how many legs in this parlay? You could have bought a scratch-off ticket and had better odds. Like,
tell him, like,
the guy acted like he was all defeated because the Jags cash. This is crazy.
I cashed a parlay. It was plus 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's a lot of points, but if Trevor Lawrence is going to make those same mistakes, he's going to pay. If not for the crazy comeback and the fact that the Chargers just peed down, we're not even talking about Jacksonville this week. We're getting the matchup we really wanted, which was Justin Herbert against Patty Mahomes. But whatever, I'll shout out to my former employer there. And then with Philly, 7-2 at home, straight 6 but 7 in their 10 against the spread. 66% of the money right now coming in on the G, man. On Sunday's game.
So just remember for the Giants, though, Scott started 6-1, and then went 3-5 rest of the year there. So
are 7-1 on the road. That's crazy. 8-2 overall. Cover machines for the G-men. Still taking Philly. Go Dirty Birds. Sunday's games. Buffalo. Cincinnati's getting 65% of the money right now against the Bills. Bills are 7-1 at home, 3-5 at home against the spread. 4-6 in their last 10. That's why I like the Bengals. The Bengals in their last 10, 9-1 covering, 7-2-1 against the spread, and 7-2 on the road. That's setting up nicely for Cincinnati. And then everybody's in on San Francisco. Nobody's a believer of Dallas. I mean, all their fans combined cannot outweigh the strength of the general public that is tired of hearing about Dallas being America's team. 62% of the picks right now are San Francisco. San Francisco is 9-1 at home right now. They're 8 home against the spread. 8-2. 4-4-1 on the road against the spread for the Dallas Cowboys. Like my picks, I'm feeling good. It's from the maps. Feeling good.
to be fair, Dallas fans aren't paying attention.
You got that? Any news out of Aaron Judge and the Yankees for the Dallas fans that are out there? Anybody? Maybe? No? Who is the one quarterback you trust the most right now? Because I saw somebody I forget who it was, Skip Bayless said it's comparable to Patrick Mahomes. And I'm like, no, Patrick Mahomes has Super Bowls. Like, there's a little bit of a difference here.
Kansas City's looking to go for the 5th straight AFC Championship game.
Like, how is he not the most trustworthy person? He's the only proven guy out there. Brock Purdy, no. Danny Dimes, no. Jalen Hurts, no. Dak, no. Josh Allen hasn't.
Working his way there. Wins this game, then yes.
But look at the disparity. Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence, the golden child, right? We think generation. Now that he got a real. All four of those guys, all on the left side of the bracket, all in the AFC. The NFC, you got Jalen Hurts, who we know is good. Daniel Jones, I'm not a believer. Sorry. He can scramble, might trip over the 5-yard line. Brock Purdy, great story. Love the guy. Matt Campbell's crew, shout out the clones here. And Dak Prescott, every season, it's like, well, what does Dak have to do this year to keep his job? You know what I mean? It's like, dude, the AFC is just absolutely low.
Well, the Cowboys are like that. They talk about Dak, Zeke, CD Lamb every year. That's just how it is. And
every year.
We kind of dogged them that they needed to find a tight end, and Dalton Schultz has just been a
Yeah, that damn Dallas. Playoff action continues one step closer to Super Bowl. Sportsbook, an official study partner of the NFL. New customers bet $5, get $200 in free bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use the promo code HUGE. That's promo code HUGE. Bet $5, get $200 in free bets instantly. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, want to tell them